Hello, and welcome to the Venue Coach Blueprint for Owners. I'm Kyle Labar. This podcast is all about helping you fill your wedding venue with more bookings, earn more from each one, and keep your customers happy for a long time. We'll also talk about some tough times and big lessons that I've learned along the way. Let's dive in together and make your venue the best spot for weddings. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Venue Coach. Today's episode, I want to talk about one of my favorite topics, which is finances, financial forecasting, specifically for your wedding venue. And the reason why it's my favorite is because I enjoy finances. I didn't get into wedding venues because I just really care about weddings and being a part of their happy day and all of this. I got into it because I wanted to make money. And I just also recognize that in order to make a lot of money in the business, you also have to care about people's big day and make sure that it's magical. But that wasn't the driving force for me to get into the business. So today's discussion about financial forecasting is important because it's going to give you a 4 to 6 month, sometimes a 12-month outlook on your actual venue and the health of it and what you can expect in the future, what low months you're going to have, what good months, that sort of thing, and to project out to see where you're going to end up so you can make plans today instead of being blindsided tomorrow. So let's dive in on that. The biggest things that we're looking for when we do our forecasting, I want to take a look at the 12 months of previous data. If you have more than that, then even better. We want to get the long-running average of your monthly bookings. So the booking rate that you're doing, how many bookings that you're getting each month on average over a long span of time, and then how much revenue you're bringing in from your upsells. So if you have a bar, if you do catering, if you do DJ, photo booths, all of these different upsells, what is your average monthly upsell amount? So from there, we are also going to look at all of your incoming existing payments or your accounts receivable. So all the payments you got out into the future, and that's about as far as we can forecast. So we forecast out until the last future payment is there, but those last couple of months, it's not really a good accurate depiction just because it's so far out. Sometimes you have payments going out to 18 months. And so it may not be a realistic picture, but it gives you a good idea of what's already in place. So once we look at the forecast for the monthly payments that are the payments that are coming in every month that already exist, we know how many bookings we're getting, we know at what rate we're doing that, and we know how many dollars to expect roughly every month on average for your upsell items. We just lump those all together. So we want to separate out, we want to have on one piece of it all of the payments for each month. So for this, it would be June, July, August, September, and so on. You have all the payments that are already pre-scheduled, all of your receivables. And then you have your monthly income per event. So if and this will require you looking at that month. You're going to see how many events you have each month, and that's the final piece. So how many events you have in that month. So for example, if I'm looking at June 2024, I'm going to see that I have so many payments coming in. It could be $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 depending on your venue. It could be even more, could be a little less. Doesn't really matter. But you want to look at those payments coming in, and then you'll look at your calendar and see how many events are on there. And this is, you want to know that because like for us, we have a bar, and so we don't get our full bar picture until the event actually happens. So if you have upsells that are like that, then you need to know what those averages are, and then you just compare them against the amount of events that you're actually fulfilling during that month. So for instance, if you have four weddings in June, and you know that every wedding averages you about $1,500 in profit on the bar, then you're going to multiply 1,500 by 4, and that will give you $6,000 to add to your total for the month of June. So you're going to add up June, or it doesn't matter, whatever month you're looking at, whenever you're listening to this. But you're going to add up your totals for those last minute value adds, and then you'll do your long running averages for your bookings. And then the other piece is you need to know not just how many bookings that you get every month on average, but also the deposit amount that you collect from those bookings. So that is going to give you a really good picture. So that's all on the income side. On the expense side, what we want to look at is your average monthly expenses. So that's your fixed expense, so the mortgage, the utilities, all the internet, marketing, all of that, and then your more cost of fulfillment side of things. So your labor, your cleaning, your like all those types of fees. That's what we want to look at on that side. And we're going to do that as an average over the month. This side's a little bit easier because you just know, like for us, it's about $1,000 per event to fulfill. And so we just add that in, and then we have our fixed costs. So once you know that monthly number that you expect on your debt, now what you're going to do is go through and compare those. So in month one, let's say June in this example, I have 4 events coming up. I usually average 8 events a month, and I have $30,000 in payments coming in. So I have 30,000, 4 events times my 1,500 for the bar. That's going to be 6,000. So now I'm at 36. And then 8 events, we have a $2,000 deposit, and so I charge 8 by 2,000, which is 16,000. So now I have 36 plus 16, which is $52,000 expected to come in. And this is just an example. You'd plug in your own numbers on this. So 52,000, and then if I look at my long-term average for the month, or excuse me, long-term monthly average for my debt, or my expenses rather, then I would see, for instance, okay, my average monthly expenses is $40,000. So I'm making 52 in June, and I'm losing 40 on the expenses, so I net gain $12,000. And then you're going to do that for every single month, and you'll notice that as you go, after a certain point, it's usually about 6 to 12 months, you'll start to see that amount diminish, and it'll really start dropping off. But within that, I'd say really 6 to 9 month range. So up to 6 months, maybe out to 9, you're going to see a real healthy picture of where you're headed. So how you make decisions there is you say, okay, where are the months that I'm losing? Where are the months that I'm winning? If more of the months are losing than the ones that are winning, then we need to make an adjustment fast. Otherwise, or quickly rather. So you're going to do that quickly, because if you don't, you will eventually drive your business into the ground, and now you have removed the fog, and you are no longer able to just say, I didn't see this coming, because we can see it coming, and we can make the adjustment now, and that's how we do it. So I want to give you some perspective in this. When we bought our second venue, we were doing this forecasting, and we saw that we were trending to basically we were going to be out of business if we kept on the trend that we were on. And this was after 2 months of owning the business. And what we assessed was, why is this happening? It turned out it was a bad manager, so we had to make a staffing change. And then what else do we need to do to forecast this? So to change the forecast rather. So we had to go in and we had to make some pretty dramatic changes. So we went in, we adjusted our pricing model so that we could get more bookings in today. We upped our deposit amount that we required from our clients, and then we really hyper focused on getting more bookings, increasing our tour conversion rate and that sort of thing. And now when I look at the forecast, or actually when I forecasted it out based on those changes, I saw that we would be profitable after just 3 or 4 months and of making those changes, and then we could start raising our rates back up again and all of that. So lo and behold, we made the changes, we implemented them, we got the new staff in, and then 3 to 4 months later, we start to go positive for our cash flow, positive for our profitability, and it was all because we were forecasting our finances. So I hope this was helpful for you. I know it's a lot of content, so if you have questions about it, I'm happy to help you out, but I hope this was useful to you. I don't know how many people are actually forecasting their venue out to make sure that they're going to remain profitable, or even if they are profitable. So if this was useful for you, please subscribe. It would mean the world to me, and I will catch you in the next one.